Welcome back, Tribe. One here from abroad with Jay. Why I left America for good. Should be interesting.
So I get this question all the time. Why did you leave America? And when people find out that I'm currently living in Dominican Republic, I can see the confusion on their faces. I can see them saying like, hey, I know the country has beautiful beaches, nice resorts, but why would anybody want to move from a great country like the U.S. over to the Dominican Republic? And my answer to that, not everyone thinks the United States is great. Now, do I see America as a bad country? No, not really, because there are some good things about it. But if you remove the best quality of America, which by far is the greatest country in the world to earn money, then it's just an average country compared to anywhere else. Now, this is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. People like
everybody that lives overseas says the same thing. America is the greatest country on earth when it comes to making money. Dude, this is the land of opportunity in terms of money, starting businesses, earning millions. You have a population of 350 plus million people that all have high enough salaries on average to afford any product. You can start the weirdest abstract businesses and be successful and make some money in America. True. In that sense, America is good. But when it comes to actual quality of life things like affordable healthcare, time off for your kids when you give birth, quality of food, all the preservatives, all the chemicals, all the shit that's slowly killing you, walkability of cities or just walkability of the country in general, public transportation. There are millions of things. Like the culture is degraded in general. There's no cafe culture, terrace culture, because you got to pull up into a drive-through instead of walking down one of these tight, narrow streets in like Europe where you could get to see people actually enjoying time off for a coffee instead of rushing through everything and back to work. In America, you could slave away to make money, but you're not actually living.
Like to think, especially nowadays, that if you're for one thing, that you got to be against another. Therefore, I must hate America. And that's simply not true. However, there are some things that I dislike totally about America, but hate is a strong word. Like most people born in the U.S., I thought the United States was the end all be all. And how could you not? From the day you're born, they sell it to you like that. But also you see the glitz and glamour that kind of reinforces the narrative that America is the end all be all. But back in 2009, I traveled here to the Dominican Republic on a business trip. And something about that visit, it just totally changed me. I didn't know what it was at the time, but that experience in itself kind of lingered with me over the years. I would travel at least 2 to 3 times a year for the next several years until I finally moved here permanently in 2021. The culture, the people, the way of life, it all kind of put me in mind of how America was back in the 80s when I actually grew up. So here are my 5 reasons why I decided to leave America, but keep in mind, they're in no particular order, so let's get to it. Number 1, the growing tension and division. The America I grew up in the 80s, that America no longer exists. I'm going to be honest with you. When I'm there, or even when I'm watching the news here in Dominican Republic, I can hardly even recognize the country. America, in my opinion, has lost some of their greatest strengths, like their social norms, their traditions, their morals and values. And I say morals and values in quotes because not that it always had morals and values, but man, they're totally lost nowadays. Having lived outside of the country for 2 years, on the outside looking in, looking at America, it looks like a free-for-all. Everybody's
it's not a family forward thinking nation at all. Once you go to, for example, I'm in Eastern Europe, I'm in Bucharest, and I'm telling you, man, I'm shocked by the amount of families there are here, from young professionals that can afford to have a family, the family-esque culture of everything in the city, from the parks to the malls to the, it's basically reminding me of 1990s America. And if you look at the videos at the end of this one on the second channel where I walk around Bucharest, different parts of Bucharest, you'll see what I mean. Everybody in the comment section will say the same thing. Holy crap, that looks like 1980s UK, 1990s America, 1980s Australia. Wow, it's all a monolith of people. We're all the same. Everybody looks the same. It's very clean. We all trust one another, right? It's a very high trust society because it feels like the kindred spirit of brotherhood is there. America lost that umbrella term of what it means to be an American. It used to be, you could come from all walks of life, but we all had one thing in common: God, love, and country. For America, and that's gone, man. Nowadays, we're dividing each other up by infinitely smaller boxes and categories that are becoming super specialized. And like, I'm part of this group that's been oppressed in this exact manner. No, I'm part of even a smaller group. And it's like brownie points for who's got the most oppression points. And love thy neighbor, that's gone. In America, we're looking at each other as enemies. Like everybody's like pulling down the window, curtains, just looking at everybody like, what the hell is he doing? Why is he out in his house? Who's that walking down the street? It's a crazy feeling when you're in America that everybody's a potential real threat. But you walk in a country like Eastern Europe over here where I'm at in Bucharest in Romania, and it's like, wow, I don't have to worry about a maniac going on a stabbing spree like Western Europe or a fucking shootout and a public tragedy happening. There's nothing but kids laughing in park, baby strollers being pushed all over the place, families having picnics, safe, quiet, incredible atmosphere that makes you want to start your own family. A lot of that is missing from America today. When I grew up, like, check this out for all the guys that have grown up in America and older than me. When we're talking about culture, Halloween, guys, do you remember how many kids used to dress up in those little outfits and go out on Halloween? And the neighborhoods were packed. People had lights everywhere. Some people were designing their entire yards to be like spooky with skeletons that were moving and like makeshift like spider webs and clouds of smoke going poof and all that stuff, right? It was incredible growing up in that era. What do people do for Halloween these days? What do people do for Christmas anymore? New Year's? It's basically dead. The year prior, before leaving America, not a single kid walked down the street to receive candy from us. We had our light on. Not one kid came. America is in decline, and you only really see it once you leave.
Seems to be on the edge. I feel uncomfortable when I'm out in public when I'm there. Here in Dominican Republic, I don't feel uneasy out in public. You see people enjoying themselves, having a good time. Nobody seems to be on edge here. But in America, man, everybody's on edge. Number 2, the high cost of living. The high cost of living is making it almost impossible for people to just live a normal life, especially in major metropolitan cities like Miami, New York, LA, Chicago, Houston. It's just making it almost impossible. Before moving to the Dominican Republic, we lived in the Fort Lauderdale area, and our monthly expenses came out to be around $4,600. That included.
You see what I mean? And average housing price right now, when the video we did last night, how Americans are priced out of the housing market, was $3,100. Median rents creeped up above $2,000. That's just for housing, guys. My place comes fully furnished. I paid €1,000, and even that's extra because it's just in a brand new luxury building in a luxury part of town. You could find a place for $500-600 easy. Public transportation, super cheap. It's less than $1. Private transportation like Ubers and stuff like that, a couple dollars. You can get anywhere you need to on foot here, and all within walking distance is hospitals, pharmacies, grocery stores, supermarkets, whatever. You don't even need a car. It's actually optional.
The rent, utilities, car insurance, health insurance, you name it, it all was included in that. When we moved here to Dominican Republic, we cut our expenses down by 50%. And at the same time, we upgraded our lifestyle because the accommodations here were cheaper than living in Florida. And to be honest, we could have cut our expenses down by 65%, but we choose to live where we live. We wanted the same type of accommodations similar to what we had back in Florida, which leads me to point number 3, the continuous rat race. And the funny thing about this one, you don't really realize you're running a race until it's almost too late. You're just subconsciously reacting, living the same life over and over each day, chasing this superficial goal that doesn't have any real purpose, at least for the most of us. Yes, it's okay to have a big house and the nice cars, but at what expense? Your quality of life, which many of us have sacrificed and still sacrificing just to pretend we have money, only to create more and more debt. So tell me this, what's the point of working just to pay bills? Here in DR, we have a better quality of life. Being able to cut down on the expenses has allowed us to enjoy our lives a little bit more. We're able to save a little bit more. We're able to invest a little bit more than what we did when we were in Fort Lauderdale. Number 4, the excessive and senseless violence. From mass shootings, gun violence, to police brutality, this part of America, in my opinion, has got way out of control. And the thought of me raising my daughter in this environment, in that nonsense, I'm telling you, as a parent, I'm terrified. I mean, think about sending them off to school and in the back of your mind having a thought that they may not even make it home.
That's insane.
I mean, this wasn't even a thought when I was growing up back in the 80s, that when you sent your kids to school, the possibility of them not coming home was not even a thought. This has just gotten to be ridiculous. There was a saying that went wrong place at the wrong time. Nowadays, that doesn't even matter. You could be at the right place at the wrong time and your life could be over. And when I say right place at the wrong time, meaning the grocery store, a restaurant, a park, a lounge. These are normal places where normal people go, And then to have to think about when you're going to these places that you may not even make it home. I mean, let that sink in. But living here in Dominican Republic, a thought like that never crosses my mind. And number 5, racism. Yep, good old racism. I know racism is everywhere. And to be honest with you, it's not going anywhere, at least not in my lifetime. As a person of color, I have to be completely naive to believe that racism doesn't exist outside of the United States. As a black man, I know that I'm subject to that no matter where I live on this planet, that racism at some point will be an issue. The question is, how big of an issue would it be? I can tell you right now, in America, it's a big issue. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist in the Dominican Republic, because I just said it exists everywhere. But it's the level of racism in the United States that's the problem. In the United States, racism will get you killed. There's no evidence that racism here in Dominican Republic will get you killed. I just haven't seen any evidence of it. Another thing about racism in the United States that is systemic. Here in Dominican Republic, I don't see where racism is systemic, meaning there are no laws that they create to keep you from having anything, doing anything just because of the color of your skin. It's not systemic. You may have a person here that may be racist. You may have a group of
You're in for a rude awakening, my friend. You haven't had to deal with higher ups in government. Trust me. Look who's running that society. America is much better than most of the world in that regard. In terms of, it doesn't matter what color your skin is. You can start a business. You've got the same rights, all that stuff. So he's wrong on this point, on the systemic side. But he grew up in the 80s, so it was something completely different back then. As of today, that's changed. But if you go in other parts of the world, good luck. And that's putting it nice. Something that Americans will realize is that we're a lot less racist than most of the world.
People that may be racist, but there's not a concerted effort here to keep you from progressing just because of the color of your skin. If you got money here, you can do pretty much anything you want to do. I say when it comes to Dominican Republic, it's more about classism than it is about racism. Number 6, the feminization of men. As with the senseless violence, this one too has gotten totally out of control in America.
Jesus Christ.
Men are no longer able to be men in America without being
the big one,
being toxic. If they're not accusing you of being toxic, they're trying to throw a dress on you. If they're not trying to throw a dress on you, they're showing you images of 2 men in their emotion. Honestly, I have no clue what's going on. Every time I watch a show nowadays,
it's so trash, dude. I tried to watch something on Netflix with my girl the other day and it just, oh my God, the wokeness. I can't. It's everywhere. They push it everywhere in your face, man. It's not even, and who are they representing? 0.1% of the population. So ridiculous. Like, this is not what normal everyday life is like for people, yet they want to normalize all this degeneracy. I'm so over that shit. I like that I live in a Eastern Orthodox country where I don't have to see rainbow mafia people everywhere. No weirdos around. It's just normal, straight Christian families. God, how relaxing is that?
You're seeing some sort of image that's pushing this narrative. I have certain beliefs of how I believe the family structure should be, and I'm sticking to it. Now, I know it's hard to get away from these images because they are everywhere. I'm sorry. You could disagree. That's fine.
That's something amazing about when I went to Dubai, too, because that stuff's just outright banned there. It's even more extreme than here in Eastern Europe. But the whole Pride Month and all that stuff, non-existent. You won't see one single flag of that stuff anywhere. Just normal people. Contrast that to when I was living in Phoenix, dude, it's all over painted on streets. The public libraries flying the flags. It's all over government building. You can't escape it. They're indoctrinating kids with ideologies like that. It's wild. Born and raised in Chicago and left 10 years ago for good, best decision of my life. Moved to Mexico from Atlanta as a black woman. I say the same exact thing about Mexico. Reminds me of USA in the 80s. The good old days when the US was family oriented. Preach, see? Then in the comments, most of them are just other people that are planning on relocating. It's like I told you guys before, the American dream is leaving America now. You can live a far better life on far less. You'll have literally everything you have in America. You're not sacrificing anything and you're saving 50% and more of your money. Yeah, see, and this guy's echoing a real truth that for the brothers traveling overseas, you got to be very careful of. It says the racism is not felt when you have a USD salary abroad. Good video, sir. Leaving the States is definitely something I want to do. Yeah. And I've talked to a bunch of passport bros that pass through Eastern Europe too. Guys, just digital nomad lifestyle. Anyways, that have business here and all over the world. And for the black men that are traveling, it seems like parts of Africa that are developed feels most like home. like where you belong. Obvious fucking reasons why, of course, but you can find very traditional feminine women there in a country that mostly looks like you, treat you as one of their own, and you can assimilate and practically look like the native population without standing out like a sore thumb or being subjugated to, second class citizenship or whatever else when you're living in these other countries and going in there as an expat and you obviously look exotic compared to everybody else. But just be aware, dude. It's going to affect you wherever you go. And this includes white people too. You'll get the bit of exoticism going overseas because you're different. The U.S. salary helps a lot, but just know they'll never consider you one of their own. And when it comes down to long-term relationships, not just hookups, one-night stands, or short-term flings, stuff like that, but long-term relationships, you're going to see that it's a lot harder to integrate in a lot of these countries because you are different. You're going to get pushback from families, the parents. They're going to all have preferences for the ladies to be dating inside their culture. You'll see what I mean. But if you want to see what Eastern Europe is like, if that's the place you're trying to land, I'm here in Bucharest. I probably will play some of the clips if I haven't in this video, but all these ones that pop up here right now will be from the second channel. If you guys don't even know, I've been recording stuff in Bucharest for you to see what it's like, how much it's advanced, and, to see just how different it really is compared to what you were told. You got sold a lie. For everybody else, appreciate you signing up for the private community or the consultations, buying shirts. It helps the channel directly. Links are all in the description below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode for guys that have been gone or planning on leaving. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody.